Well, Australia and the United Kingdom have signed a 50-year treaty solidifying their commitment to the AUKUS Pact.
Sky News Northern Australia correspondent Matt Cunningham sat down today for an exclusive interview with UK Defence Secretary John Healey, and Matt joins us now. Matt, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Firstly, take us through what the significance of this announcement is.
Well, it was an interesting announcement, wasn't it, Danica? And a lot of people are wondering whether, this has been prompted in some way by the fact that we're seeing quite a bit of reluctance from the United States when it comes to the AUKUS deal. Now, it was signed in Geelong on Saturday between Richard Marles, the Defence Minister, and the UK Defence Secretary, John Healey, who I've spoken to today. Today we were taken aboard HMS Prince of Wales, the largest vessel in the British Royal Navy's fleet, a huge aircraft carrier that's been participating in Exercise Talisman Sabre. It's been really interesting to watch the dynamic that's been going on because the Prime Minister's been over in China. He's been having talks with President Xi. He's obviously been trying to build on that relationship, to maintain that strong trade relationship. But at the same time, we've had the biggest war games exercise that's ever been conducted on Australian soil take place. And a lot of that has taken place here in Northern Australia and from, ironically, the Port of Darwin, which has been leased to a Chinese company for 99 years. But we did see that announcement over the weekend, this 50-year AUKUS Pact that has been signed between Australia and the United Kingdom. So I asked John Healey whether the signing of this treaty was a sign that there were concerns that the United States were perhaps going to renege on this deal. Here's what he had to say about that.
I have no concerns at all. The commitment of the US to this three-nation AUKUS partnership is strong. The benefits to the US are very direct and immediate. I welcome the review that they're doing at the moment. We as a new government did exactly the same. I think we'll come out this with a stronger sense of partnership, the three nations standing together as the closest of allies to be more ready to fight, stronger to deter, and better able to reinforce the security in our Euro-Atlantic area as well.
Matt, the UK has announced significant increases in their defence spending. We know the US have been very critical of Australia's defence spending. Did you get any sense from the UK Defence Secretary that they are concerned about our low level of defence spending?
Well, I don't think John Healey was too keen to directly criticise, his Labor counterparts. Of course, he's part of Keir Starmer's Labor government in the UK, and there's a Labor government firmly in power here. But that issue of defence spending is certainly one that's front of mind, I think, with the US, with the UK and Australia at the moment. The UK is going to increase its defence spending to 2.5% by 2027 and is looking to expand it to 3% of GDP by the time the next parliament is in the UK. So here in Australia, obviously, there's been pressure on the Albanese government to make similar commitments. In fact, the United States would like us to increase our defence spending to 3.5% of GDP. Australia has made no commitment to do that. But there are concerns, particularly here in Northern Australia, that we might not be at the point where we need to be if conflict was going to break out in this region. So I asked John Healey whether he had any advice for Richard Marles or whether he's putting any pressure on Australia to increase our defence spending. Here's how he responded to that question.
It's what you spend that counts, but also how you spend it. We're working together to make sure that we are more ready, not just more ready to face the threats that we could be challenged with, but by being more ready, we're more able to deter the conflicts that we want to try and avoid.
So it's been a really interesting few days and, in fact, few weeks here in the top end with Exercise Talisman Sabre taking place. It will run for another week or so, but as I was making the point before, this has been the biggest War Games exercise held on Australian soil. It's featured more than 35 personnel from 19 different nations. They're not here for fun, I can tell you that. It's really been interesting, I think, as well, to hear the tone taken by the different countries who are here. I mean, when you hear members of the Australian Defence Force speak, it's almost like they're tied up in management speak. They don't want to talk too much about anything that's too controversial. They sort of, want to talk about, we're doing some training and, we all want to get along and everything's nice. And then when you talk to the Americans, they say, well, yeah, we're here to do some training, but we're ready to fight the fight if it comes to that. So it has been an interesting time here, and it'll be interesting to see as well what develops following exercise Talisman Sabre. It's probably the most volatile that things have been in this region in recent memory. And as I was mentioning earlier, we've also got this ongoing situation with the Port of Darwin. So it was really fascinating today to be standing on the HMS Prince of Wales, with F-45 aircraft lined up behind me. There were F-35s, basically in two rows. And then between them, you look through and you could see the Port of Darwin, which has been leased for 99 years to a Chinese company. So we know the Albanese government made some big announcements during the election campaign. They said that they were going to bring that port back under Australian control, but that hasn't happened yet. So a bit of pressure on the government, I think, to start taking some action when it comes to the Port of Darwin.
Yeah, well, it wasn't raised, of course, when the Prime Minister went to China by not he nor President Xi. So, Matt Cunningham, good to catch up, and we look forward to hearing more about that interview. Thanks so much for joining us on the show.